Is this thing on? Welcome to Rebooted the Podcast. I'm your host, Alita Hernandez. Come join me weekly to hear about my journey from recovery to healing after having a stroke and other life challenges. So let's get talking. Is this thing on? Sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulty before, but we're back again at Rebooted the Podcast. Your host, Alita Hernandez. It is a Love Tuesday today. So today is all about love and about your passions and about life. Again, I started this Rebooted the Podcast having a stroke 5 years ago and finally realizing that I wasn't living my life, that I was just working and going through the motions, but I wasn't enjoying my life until I realized that having that sickness, and all of a sudden now I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk right, and I was in pain and just really unhealthy, and realized, do I want to live or do I want to die? So that's the question that you have to ask yourself. If you're unhealthy, do you really want to live, or do you just want to give up and just die? Because that's the only option you have. There's no other option. So with that, I found one day a calling. I just really got a calling that just said, do what you love. And this is what I love to do. I have the vehicle to talk to you guys every week and be able to share some incredible, inspiring stories from people that have gone through things worse than I have, okay? There are people out there that have suffered so much that they suffer in silence because they have nobody to share it with. And that way now I can bring them to you and they can share their stories and maybe impact your life, because that's my goal, is to impact 1 million people positively. And maybe today I can help you lower your A1C and diabetes, or your cholesterol goes down a little bit, or you're just happy today. Isn't that a good thing? Just to be happy today. There's so much depression going on in the world. So just share a little kindness today. A smile, a hello goes a long way in somebody's life. So again, today is all about passion. Just to let you know, we have a number you can call. It's 888-994-4995. Again, 888-994-4995. And you can call in, ask me questions, and ask my guest questions. And also, if you send messages on Facebook, we can see it here on the screen and we can answer them as well. So again, talking about passions, my guest today is incredible. And I say that every week because I try to bring you the best that I can bring of people who really in their heart have passion for what they do. And they have been inspired by things that have happened in their life. Not necessarily everybody's gone through a traumatic experience, but some have. But whatever reason they are, that they're doing what they're doing, they have passion for what they do, and they love people just as much as I love people out there as well. So we're just going to take a brief little break for a commercial break for Club Secret. And just a little note about enjoying your life, doing some VIP vacationing. Check out the video.
Let's be honest. When you want this VIP lifestyle 24/7, or at least almost 24/7, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? Now there is Club Secret, the ultimate lifestyle membership. Our VIP global brand is centered around helping people look better, feel better, and experiencing the world. We have proven world-class self-care products to enhance your outer self so you look like a VIP. We have the ultimate premium supplements and plant-based nutrition to give you the cleanest energy to help you go throughout your day so you feel like a VIP. Being a part of Club Secret enables you to experience the world like you never have before through our wholesale booking platform, luxury vacation homes, villas, cruises, and our flagship group curated escapes to the most exciting parts of the world. And we don't stop there. You are a VIP, and we want to make sure you always feel that way. We give you access to memorable experiences with VIP events centered around F1 racing, Wimbledon, Kentucky Derby, the Open, NFL, NBA, NHL, and more. Like VIP packages to the most popular concerts and festivals that we all know and love. Club Secret gives you savings on other lifestyle benefits such as telemedicine to save you time and money, popular retail brand partners, and more. So for less than a Starbucks cup of coffee a day, we want you to have the VIP life every day, not just every once in a while. What's in the membership again? You get 30% off all premium product lines, save time and money at telemedicine, having a doctor access 24/7, wholesale hotel booking engine, curated escapes, VIP experiences, brand partner discounts, loyalty points on most things purchased in the community, and more. So if you want to claim your VIP status now in our Ultimate Lifestyle community, text or direct message the person back immediately that had you watch this video to learn more.
Welcome back, everybody. Here I am with Coach Andres. Andres, I'm so happy you're here today.
Thank you for having me, Alita. I love the Rebooted podcast. I love the topic, passion and love, and finding that for yourself. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Tell everybody about your incredible story. You see this man here. He's an actor, LA actor. He's done several movies. And then unfortunately had an accident in 2020, correct?
Yeah, it was to the topic of finding your passions. It was acting has always been my passion. It was just kind of like my natural thing I fell into when I was a teenager in DC. But then I moved to LA for 16 years as a union actor, and I was following my dream, and I was doing all variety of TV and film and commercial work. But it wasn't until I found my natural calling, which was like a higher level of my passion, my purpose, and it was from an injury I experienced August of 2020. I know you probably won't believe it because you see me as I functioned pretty well and I'm very independent. I drove here and I walked here, but I suffered an accident after a 25-mile bike ride in late August, and I was dehydrated, and in my backyard patio, I felt like a little uncomfortable. So as I'm reaching for the backyard patio door, I felt this warm sensation and I just fainted. And I fainted and I hit my right temple on a flower pot in my backyard patio. And it was like a freak of an accident. I was born with a genetically thin spinal tube, which I was told from my neurologist is what caused such a serious injury. But basically I was out for 2 minutes and then I woke up paralyzed from the neck down. I suffered a C2 cervical spinal cord contusion. And yeah, that was a dark place to go through. I didn't know exactly what or how I got in this position. Thank God my brother and my sister-in-law were there to call the ambulance. And they took me to Broward Health North. And I got tons of stories about the recovery and everything, and the mindset and the passion and the love that you have to do to get healthy again. But that also led to my natural true calling of being a coach, a love life relationship coach. And it was about digging in deep and finding your self-identity, your self-worth, your self-value, that never giving up attitude, which you mentioned before with some mental situations as well. And follow your dreams, follow your passion. So again, thank you for having me here, because I just love these opportunities to help out anyone I can, because I've been truly helped myself. The injury, I'll never forget my first day of therapy, my first day of rehab. My therapist, Douglas, was like, Andres, you've got to realize how blessed you are. And here I am, paralyzed from the neck down, 36 years old, during a freaking global pandemic, looking at him, like, blessed?
How am I blessed?
I was like, WTF, I don't want to say that word, but I was like, F you. I was like, blessed? I was in LA, Manhattan Beach, on set Warner Brothers, doing freaking Batman and La La Land. Now I'm here paralyzed? What? And then he realized, and he knew I was in like this denial, and he leaned into me, I'll never forget. And he was like, oh, they haven't showed you your chart, have you? And I was like, well, no, why? No, they haven't. Well, I'm going to. And he pulled up my chart and he puts it in my face, and you see your C2, your cervical spinal cord, how there's a contusion, a deep bruise. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, so that's normally a very fragile, the most fatal, severe, if not death, spot of your spinal cord, that most people don't get contusions. It's always a break and you're usually done. And you are less than a centimeter away from being permanently paralyzed. Like, he kept on mentioning Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, I was
Superman.
Gonna say, I just got goosebumps thinking about that. Yeah.
And there's a crazy story that led to a Superman metaphor later down in the road of my life and my story. I mean, honestly, another miracle. And he said, you were supposed to be, Christopher Reeves, joystick, tube, everything like that. And I just lost it, and I started bawling, and I was just like shivering for like a few minutes. And then he leaned in, and I was like, let's get to work. And then that's what I realized through that and my psychologist in the hospital was that I knew athletically I'm going to commit everything I can physically because I'm an athlete. I've had injuries before, but nothing like this. But I realized I can't heal mad. I can't heal angry. I can't feel like the victim or blame or be defeated towards the world because my life might change forever. And that level of that mindset, mind over matter, helped me recover a lot quicker than expected, and to a point where it kind of grabbed some attention because, respectfully, the time frame was to walk, if possibly walk again within 6 months to a year.
How long did it take you?
30 days.
What?
30 days.
Oh, he's true miracle right here. 30 days.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, I have goosebumps. I have chills. It's just unbelievable. 30 days. I mean, I'm gonna say a couple of months, a year.
I've had ankle sprains last longer. Yeah,
right?
I've had
Wow.
open cuts last longer.
Again, it's that will to live.
It was that will to live. It was that acceptance. It was that embrace, that challenge, that fire. And again, with that passion idea we talked about, there was some weird form of my acting drive, that resilience, that fearless attitude to go do something, really applied to this recovery. It just went to a whole different level. And it was more spiritual than anything, So that's where, I love how you have the energy and the smell and the rocks and the stones. I kind of just tapped into that spirituality. I was like, I've never been in this place, guide me in any way possible. And you just, kind of just follow your faith.
Exactly. Just follow your heart. And, it's all about being good. It's just being a good person. I mean, I was raised, in an institutional, church and everything like that. And I'm not going to go into religious things. But all I say is, I think the principle of all faiths is to be a good person, which means do not harm anybody. Be kind to your neighbor. They need a glass of water, give them a glass of water. It's like simple things. Again, it comes to common sense, which I have a thing that I say common sense isn't common, unfortunately. But there you go. But, it's one of those things, just be kind. So we're going to show a little clip because you have to see at least some of these clips to see Andres and how he was. So you can really, really you'll understand this. So we're going to take a little break and see. We'll show a couple of your clips that were on, I think, on the local channel, right?
Yeah,
Here?
Local 10 News jumped on it because it wasn't necessarily because of my acting, but that was kind of like a little cherry on the top. But it was also just because the story was inspiring. And that led me to speak to other patients and other injured, anyone, basically, and just kind of paid forward.
Yeah, and it's such a small world because he lives so close to me.
Yeah.
I met him at an event, random event.
Yeah.
I met him. He lives close to me, and then we had a conversation, and we started, wow.
Yeah.
We went through both a traumatic physical thing in our lives, and it transformed us.
Yep.
So it's just incredible how the connection, and it's just connecting with the same like-minded people, and just helping others open their mindset. And I know people hear this word mindset. It's really, it's not that difficult, but it's difficult to untrain your mind.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is you have to learn how to untrain yourself to live a better life. But anyway, let's see this quick clip real quick on Andres.
I came to Broward Health after an unfortunate accident. I was reaching for the patio door and then I suddenly fainted and hit my head on the cement ground. And when I woke up, I couldn't move anything below my neck.
Considering Andres' condition after the fall, he was diagnosed to have a spinal cord contusion and he was paralyzed pretty much from the neck down.
And when I arrived here, I could only move my right toes, and that's when I knew I had to commit to a serious level of rehab. The care at the rehab center was amazing. It's a good combination of if you want it, go get it. And we're going to be here to instruct you and guide you.
Here at the Broward Health Rehabilitation Institute, we are certified both internationally and nationally. We have specialists including neurosurgeons. They are quite available 24 hours a day.
My long-term recovery goal is full recovery because I'm going to get it. I'm focused and committed to doing it.
To learn more about Broward Health's rehab services, visit browardhealth.org/rehab institute. Actor Andres Perez Molina has been released from Broward Health North after recovering from a spinal injury that nearly left him paralyzed. The actor, who was featured in The Dark Knight Rises, was diagnosed with a spinal contusion after he says he fainted and hit his head on his patio floor.
I couldn't move anything other than my right toes. I never had an injury like this before. I was in shock, and I didn't know what was going to happen, honestly. The doctors, the staff, the nurses, they all gave me a good, tough love, which I needed in rehab. And that's not as much as, oh, it's okay. No, like you want this, go get it.
What a frightening ordeal for him. And after 30 days of being hospitalized and rigorous physical therapy, Perez Molina was able to regain his mobility. You see him right there. He showed us his strength today when he stood up and walked away from his wheelchair.
Every year, half of all Americans over the age of 18 will develop an injury that may require some form of physical therapy to help them recover.
And in today's HealthCast, Local 10 medical specialist Christy Kruger looks at how advancements in PT are helping more people return to the lives they once enjoyed before their injury.
38-year-old Andres Perez Molina has always been the picture of strength and good health. Nothing could have prepared him for what happened in August of last year.
That morning, I went out for a good 25, 30-mile bike ride in my neighborhood in Parkland. And I guess there was more emotional stress going through the pandemic and COVID I wasn't realizing, plus the dehydration. And I fainted in my backyard patio, and I hit my right temple, freak of an accident, on a flower pot.
Andreas woke up to find himself paralyzed from the waist down.
When the shock came up of me not being able to move, then yes, I was terrified and just in denial.
Yeah, you okay?
Good to see you.
But Andreas wasn't giving up. He turned to the staff at Broward Health North's Rehabilitation Unit. Director Dr. Ariel Inocentes says that over the past decade, specialists have developed improved methods for dealing with a multitude of life-altering injuries.
They have the neurodevelopmental techniques that help them get stronger. There's a technique that stimulates the muscle to work without even the patient knowing that they're being stimulated to work on the muscles.
The irony of his dramatic improvement wasn't lost on Andreas when, as a professional actor, he was recently asked to be a stand-in for Superman actor Henry Cavill.
It was so surreal, and it was interesting to happen through this journey.
He now sees his personal experience as a greater purpose to help others.
I've always been an optimistic kind of guy in a way, but now this is just taking it to a different level, and now to be able to share that with all these strangers all over the world has been it's been a blessing.
Now, all this week, it's National Rehabilitation Awareness Week, and over the next decade, the need for physical therapists is expected to grow by about 22%, in part due to our aging population. With today's HealthCast, I'm Christy Kruger.
Hi, everybody. So those videos were incredible. I mean, it's surreal to see you. It's probably, how do you feel seeing yourself? I'm just sitting here. I don't know why I just got this rush thought in my head, and I could just feel you watching yourself. And I just got, I don't know what it was.
I felt something too, I'm not gonna lie. It's always it's one thing watching your work as an actor, you feel a little off or a little critical. That's just a different level. I felt like I was outside my body, watching that, because spiritually and mentally, I can instantly go back to those moments.
Wow.
And the whole process of everything.
Wow, and just that emotion, that fear, you're so afraid. All you have is faith.
Yes.
And faith in the people, the doctors around you, and faith in God, faith in the universe, just holding on so you can walk again.
It was again, I was 36 at the time, so it's almost been 2 years, and had to learn how to do everything again, like a 6-month-old baby body. I had to start with the whole, learning how to talk, which I, got that quickly. Learn how to eat, learn how to get dressed, learn how to walk, learn how to, feed myself, learn how to get dressed.
So it affected everything.
I had to learn everything all over again, and again with the whole idea about mental health, passion, and love. And this is during the pandemic, while everyone's going mentally, out there.
Yeah, it already was hard on everybody.
It was an interesting time in my life that I was you're forced to stay there paralyzed with no contact because of the restrictions, and all you could do is be in your thoughts and your energy. And that's all you could do. That's the only thing you could do is to kind of tap into your muscle memory, hoping to move again or hoping to be independent and function again. And that's where I really tapped into this higher level of like self-development, self-care, self-improvement that really escalated my recovery, but also to a point where I was like, I want to share this with whoever needs it, because there is a way of simplifying your thoughts, simplifying your choices, especially nowadays we have so much digital distractions and everything's always caught up in our heads and everything, that sometimes we really need to slow down. And that whole mention about that Christopher Reeves injury where I could have been, 7 months later, my very first job back on set, I tell my agent, I'm ready to get back on set, but I can only do walk and talk, sit and talk, no specific athletic anything, not even stairs yet. And then she was like, can you do stand-in work? And I was like, yes, stand-in work, I can stand perfectly, no problem. I'm kind of sore, but I can stand up. And then she goes, well, you know, we want to have a stand-in for this project. I didn't know who it was going to be. And it was the current Superman, Henry Cavill himself.
That's just unbelievable.
And I was like, what are the chances of that?
I thought of Superman right away when you were, before even I saw that, I didn't even know. And I was just thought of that because I remember his injury and, you know, such a young man also.
Yeah.
And what it does to you. But how come, I know you had this, it was okay, you hit your head, your temple. So how did it affect your spine? Like, you know,
I know.
And then your brain, because it's really interesting, because when I had the stroke, it still boggles my mind, because I had oxygen, how do you call it? I had a brief moment that I had no oxygen to my brain on the right side. So because of that, my brain just died a little bit for that moment. It had no oxygen. It was choking. So because of that, I lost the mobility on my left side. Had pain. It was just weird. I'm like, but it was my brain. So your brain controls everything. Like everything in your body. So if you can control your thoughts, again, that's where the coaching comes in, to bring in the passions and to let go of past things that we have in our life that hold us back.
Find your peace. To answer that question was basically my head hit the flower pot, but the rest of my body weight hit the ground. And that's what caused a deep contusion on my C2. And my neurologist and therapist kind of gave me an explanation of saying how, imagine like there's a foot pressed on this hose of water that's not allowing any water. The hose is your spinal cord tube. The water is your electric signals from your brain trying to shoot out to the rest of your body to function. And there was basically a foot holding my spinal down, my C2 down, not allowing anything to process or go through. So everything was paralyzed temporarily, but with no set deadline or, expectation when it would move. Because
it depleted to your brain. So that's why you had that the motor skill depletion and everything like that, because the minute your brain is affected, even just a little bit, it just shuts down. Your body will shut down. So, but, so I know we're coming close to the end of the show. What would be one thing you want to tell people out there about finding your passion as a coach?
Well, so to add on to the whole idea of me being a coach, quick story. While I was recovering, I was newly friends with a guy named Alex Cormont, and he's the number one French love coach in France, and he's one of the top love coaches in Europe. And love coach is not necessarily for just, relationship love. It's all about finding that self-love. And we became friends in Parkland through mutual friends. And he was always interested about me getting coaching just based on my acting experience and my drive for that. And then when I was in the hospital, he called me, one of my first friends, new friends, to call me to see how I was doing. And he was like, listen, I know this is a crazy time going in your life. The way you're recovering is unreal. I really feel like you have a voice to help others and find their own true calling, their own passion, their self-identity, everything. They're fired to never give up, which is my quote I always say with everything. Never giving up. And so he gave me the platform, the training, and the mentorship to now become a coach myself. So I'm with coachingwithundress.com, and now I coach everyone around the world, worldwide, as well as speaking at other hospitals and some magazine interviews and radio interviews, and thank you for this podcast interview, and trying to find your self-identity, but also leading towards what kind of relationship you want with someone. But it all starts with the relationship within yourself. So that was something that kind of found in myself as an actor, because as an actor, you emotionally have to challenge yourself to be
Right.
comfortable while you're uncomfortable. You know, just the,
Right.
there's a lot of things, you know, I don't want to go too far, but it's like
Right.
you just have to find that level of calmness in yourself.
Right.
And that just kind of got like a steroid shot with the injury and recovery
Right.
mindset that I had to go through. And with, as you know, Alex's training, I'm just, you know, honored and grateful to be, you know, helping others, because again, I've been helped with this opportunity to heal.
Oh, that's great. That's so great that we're able to give it back to people.
Yes.
I'm really like, I'm electrified. I'm like, I have goosebumps this whole time we've been talking. It's just been the energy here has been unbelievable. You know, we're gonna have you on again, because
Yes.
there's so much we can talk about. 30 minutes is not enough. We really didn't get into the coaching or anything like that. I mean, you know, we just kind of like just started talking about just what we've gone through, and there's just so much more. But again, it just, you know, it starts with you. It's just do a little something for yourself today, you know. I mean, just do something nice for yourself today, you know. Love yourself today and make yourself feel better. It makes a big difference, you know. But anyway, it's great. Thank you for being here, Andres.
Thank you. And just real quick, if you wanted to find out more about the story and how I got into it, again, go to coachingwithandres.com or my Instagram, coachingwithandres711, or my TikTok, coach_Andres. I post daily content, you know, everything that's inside with my acting, as well as my recovery and my coaching. So it kind of gives you a little more deep insight of what's going on with what I do.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I will have all that information on details on the podcast and everything. I always put all the information there. And next week, just a reminder, we're back again on Tuesday. And next week, it's all about Club Secret. I have a special guest, Rhonda, one of our top executives from Club Secret, to talk about our special VIP packages that me and my husband are going on a 2-week trip soon. I don't know where. We're trying to make time, because I have to make time for you guys. So, and then another week, and then after that, after Rhonda, I have Regina, and she's going to talk about an inner peace. So just stay tuned on social media to check out what we're doing on Rebooted the Podcast, and see you next Tuesday. Thank you for joining us today. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Rebooted the Podcast to learn about each episode's guests and topics. This is your host, Alita Hernandez. See you next Tuesday.